I am James the Man's Man, and welcome to another fun, exciting episode of The Man's Kitchen. Now, I know in my series that I started filming, we're going to be following, I said we'd be following MasterChef Junior, and I'd be doing the elimination challenges after they air. I'd be recreating them at home. That's not this video. I'm shooting that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll post it tomorrow too. Today what I'm shooting is a video because we now have 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel. I believe we actually have 102 right now. So I'm doing a viewer request video. This was requested on our Facebook, so follow us on Facebook, and I'll post a link in the description. And you can request stuff. So we're gonna do beef Wellington today. Now I have a slight confession. We already shot the intro, and then this got deleted by accident, and I can't recover it. So we have to shoot a second intro, and that's this. So it's going to be a little choppy because this video is now going to jump to after I just washed my hands the first time because I was showing you the beef. So there's going to be a plate of raw beef, tenderloin in front of me. I'm going to be seasoning it and cooking it. You didn't really miss anything other than a more fluid explanation of what we're doing. So let's watch the video, the rest of it that I have. I just wanted to clean my hands up because I didn't want to cross-contaminate. I didn't want to grab the box of salt and be all beefy. So we're going to put a little bit of kosher salt on here, a little bit of salt and pepper. Now that I do have these open though, I'm gonna I can one-hand them. I can move the meat around with my, we'll call this my dirty hand and my clean hand. So we get that seasoned. Okay, now wash my hands one more time. Okay, so in the background we've been preheating a cast iron pan. It was smoking a little bit earlier because I had it on while we were setting up. So it should be nice and, nice and hot. There's some butter in there. We're going to grab our 3 fillets. And get these in here. Now, one of the things you need to be careful about is overcrowding your pan. If you put too much stuff in here, what's going to happen is that the heat of the pan is going to drop drastically and you're going to lose your ability to sear. We're going to add some fresh thyme to the pan. And then keep the heat down low. Add a little bit of oil to the butter. Not too much, you're not deep frying anything. I'm going to move these around a bit. So, you can see that we're starting to get a little color there, but not much. It almost looks boiled still. So, I'm going to turn the heat up a bit. The nice thing with gas is very responsive. If you have a nice pair of tongs, you can actually do your base with your tongs. Put a crest on these, a little bit darker than that, maybe about another 20 seconds or so. We're just going to move the thyme around, make sure all the butter gets that thyme flavor. Want to be careful not to brown your butter. So if you go too high with your heat, your butter's going to turn color. There you go. That's a little more, that's darker there. I'm going to flip these over. And get that butter everywhere. Okay, if your tongs, if you don't have a nice pair of tongs that you can scoop up like that with, then you can use a spoon. Right? You can take a spoon out of your spoon drawer, and you can do that. Keep everything basted and moist. And once you develop some color on the bottom, And the reason that we get color is we're caramelizing the sugars that are in the protein. Not a lot of sugar though. Like, this isn't going to make you diabetic if you eat a whole bunch of them. But that's basically what happens. So I want just a bit more color than that. We're going to take these, and we're going to get the sides. So we're going to put them on their sides, and we're going to roll them around a bit. Alright, so we're going to maybe count to 30 on each side, and we're going to roll them around. So it'll be about 2 minutes worth of us taking them, counting to 30 in our head. If they cooperate with us, that is. And basically the idea is just we want to get a good sear around the whole outside so we can get some crust and some flavor. Because filet is a very lean cut, it's a very tender cut. So it's the kind of cut that melts in your mouth, but without adding some flavor to it, it can be a little off-putting. Okay. So we're going to set these into a clean plate. These are absolutely rare in the middle. They might even be blue. We're going to grab some Dijon mustard. Put a little bit of mustard on all of them. There you go. Here we get the bottoms of this one. Okay, and now we're going to put these in the fridge for about 20 minutes. And what's going to happen is as the meat cools, the pores are going to contract. And while the pores contract, they're going to suck some of that mustard flavor into the middle. So you're not just going to get mustardy on the outside, you're going to get mustard flavor on the inside too. It's going to suck it in like a little vacuum. So we're just going to put this in the fridge for about 20 minutes.
Go.
Okay, so now while those fillets are cooling off, we're going to get our duxelle ready. So I have another frying pan here on the stove. I'm going to add a little bit of canola oil. I know some of you are going to say, why use oil in a non-stick pan? I don't know, I just like adding a little oil. Let that heat up. So one of the ways you can tell if your oil is hot is getting a little bit of water on your finger, and if it dances when it hits the oil, then it is hot. We're not quite there yet. Probably by the time I'm done rambling, it'll be nice and hot. So we'll just ramble. There, sounds about hot now. Add our onions. So I had one medium-sized red onion in here. Cook that up. We're going to let these brown for about 2 to 3 minutes before we move on to our next step. Okay, now that we've got 2 minutes and we've got some color on our red onions, we're going to add the mushrooms here. And this is one whole package of mushrooms that I chopped up here. And some people for a duxelle, you know what, you can put this in a food processor if you would like, and you could blitz it until it is like a paste. that's fine. So the next two, we're going to do the pate in the next two flavors. So we're going to take some of this pate, and it's going to be easiest if we just mix it into our duxelle. So, I don't know, I guess we use about half of this. And for those of you that aren't used to buying stuff like this was $3 for this container of pate. I don't think that's a lot of money. Everyone's grocery budget's a little different, but if you are splurging and making beef Wellington, then $3 on the pate it's not really gonna make or break your dinner. Like, you should be able to do it if you're gonna do beef Wellington, because at least around here, we're talking about like $8 a pound for the meat. So what I have now is I have a mix of my duck pate and my duxelle. So now we're gonna roll out some more saran wrap, and we're gonna do one more with prosciutto.
Okay, pause.
Okay, so we got our prosciutto laid out. And you don't have to use quite as much if you don't want to, just, we really like prosciutto in this household, so. Now I've got my duxelle pate mix. There we go. Let's spread that out. Okay, grab a fillet, and we're gonna roll this one up. So this one now has the prosciutto of the more modern recipes, and it's got the pate of the more classic recipes. But all the recipes really do have the duxelle in there. Now, I work with a guy at the restaurant, and when he makes these, he likes to put, instead of mustard, he uses HP sauce. His are pretty good too. So now we're just going to roll that up, stick it on the plate. Okay, so we have our puff pastry laid out now, and me and camera wife Heather are having a heated and heavy debate on whether I can get 2 out of here or 1. Now, I think I can get 2. She thinks I'm dreaming, but we're going to give it a try. So we're going to cut this in half. Okay. And now this is the last one, and because it doesn't have that prosciutto to hold it together, I'm going right on here. Okay, and I'm counting on the dough being elasticy enough that I can stretch this and make this work. Especially since I don't have the prosciutto in this one. I just have my nice, rich pate mix. Okay, and we have our last fillet. Oh, and we can pinch the sides shut. We got it. Yeah. Wow, we got it. We'll pinch the sides shut downward though. Yeah, we'll try and pull all the excess dough into the bottom here. Okay. We've got our pizza pan. We're gonna take some spray. Okay, we have all of our excess dough on the bottom. We have a nice clean-ish looking top. And we're gonna roll up all 3 of these. So this one is the everything one. This has the prosciutto and the pate and the duxelle. This one's a little wider. I think we're gonna get it though. Okay, yeah, we're gonna pull that tight. I'm pretty sure. Now the nice thing too is that if the sides blow open a little bit when you're cooking, when you cut it, you're gonna cut it down the center and you're gonna flip it on its side. So really, if the sides are not super perfect, yeah, I'm just gonna try and crimp these shut. So I just put a little light flour down on my cutting board, on my counter here, and this is how they come after you unroll them. They're just on a sheet of wax paper, or parchment paper. So we're just gonna plop it down. Separate it. I'm gonna cut this in half again. Actually, it was a little tight on the last one, and this one's just as wide. So I'm gonna go a little off center on my last one here. And I feel like I could have done that with the first one a little off center because the one that didn't have the prosciutto didn't. Okay, so you can see we have our beef Wellingtons out of the oven. Now after we pause the video, camera wife Heather says to me, how are those going to be done when they come out of the oven? And I said, well, they're only in there long enough to cook the pastry. Like, they shouldn't be more than medium rare. Then she says, you know I don't like anything that isn't well done. So in the interest of a happy wife and happy life philosophy, I turned the oven down to about 300 degrees. So at 300 degrees, I was able to cook these beefs well done without overcooking the pastry. And what I did for the last 5 minutes was, because the pastry was starting to get cooked, for the last 5 minutes what I did was I turned the oven up to 350 roast. And that got the nice golden brown on the puff pastry without overcooking it. So that's what you can do. You can always play with your oven temp. You can turn it down lower. If you want, if you have a probe on your oven, say you want these to be medium well, that's how you like your food, that's fine. Stick a probe in them. Set the oven to beep when those things hit just before your desired temperature, because you're going to leave them in there for another 5 minutes. You're going to flash them on a higher heat just to finish browning the dough. So we're going to grab this one. I think this is the everything one. My carving knife, and you can see I got the nice flowers there. So when you put that down on the plate, however you're going to serve this, maybe you're going to put a platter out with 4 or 5 of them individually like that, or maybe you are going to make them a big long one and you're going to put leaves everywhere on it. If you're a little better, you can put maybe some actual flowers. But basically what we're going to do right now, we're going to cut this in half. Okay. So you can see we have a well done filet in there. We got the ham, not the ham, yeah, the prosciutto, there's the duxelle, the pate, it's all in there. And I didn't make anything else because it's the middle of the afternoon. So what you could make, a nice mashed potato to go with this, some roasted vegetables, some gravy would be good. Do you ever watch on Hell's Kitchen? They always cut the ends off and then they stand them up like that. So I mean, you can do whatever you want really with them. If you want to put the 2 of them on the plate like that. And then like this is a huge meal. Even though this is only an 8-ounce filet, once you add the puff pastry, it makes it into a huge endeavor. So to be honest, I've never eaten a beef Wellington before. So I got a little bit of everything in this bite here. A little bit of pastry, a little bit of meat, a little bit of pastry, come on. Oh wow. That's really good. I wasn't sure. I haven't had pate too often. I wasn't sure how I was going to like that. That is ridiculously good. It gives it a... It's hard to describe the feeling of flavors in my mouth, but that is amazing. I understand why people love these. So this was, of course, the video for us reaching 100 subscribers on YouTube. I made a beef Wellington. It was a viewer request that was posted up on Facebook when we started off this season. Somebody said, hey, can you do beef Wellington? So I decided, you know what, I'll do it when I can. And when we hit 100 subscribers, I thought, no better time than now. Tomorrow we're going to shoot the video where we do the MasterChef Elimination Challenge from Friday night's episode. And I want to say, I hope everybody that wants to make a beef Wellington does, because these taste amazing. But please make yours medium rare, because I almost feel bad, but it tastes so good it's not that big of a deal. Thank you and have a good day.